With this feeling I can leave. I'm working and I'm dreaming. Will you dare to give it all up and walk by my side? Do you see the road? Do you hear it's cold?
Good evening, everybody. This is your host, Jason Bainbridge, and you're on The State of the Nation. And tonight I am interviewing a lady who is probably well known to a lot of people, actually. But I'll let her introduce herself. Her name is Nikki, and she's also preparing a stand-up for fuel prices nationwide convoy in New Zealand, and we're looking at the northern region. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Lady Nikki. Hello, Lady Nikki. How are you? Or Lady Nick?
I'm good, thank you. Lady Nikki.
Lady
What
Nick.
do you want to call me?
You're kind of famous, aren't you?
I'm a little bit, maybe. People are like, maybe.
I recognise your voice.
Yes, the voice is, yes, I suppose if we come away from the screen, you can hear. Yes, my voice was over the Zelo channel when we did the Convoy to Parliament. Well,
Yeah, that's
been a while,
right.
hasn't it?
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a long time since I heard you on the Zello there. Now, you're arranging with various groups, or a group that you're working with on also creating a mini convoy. You're also in the North Island region. Can you tell us a little bit about the convoy, where it's coming from and where it's going to?
Okay, so I'm doing the New Plymouth area or the Taranaki area. And we're going to start in Whanganui and gather some, freedom fighters or whoever wants to join, really, and take it all the way up here to New Plymouth. And we're going to just go pretty slow around the whole one-way systems here and just show everybody that we're still here and that we are fighting and that we are making sure that we can get the word out for, what's going on with Marsden Point. With just basically, we're just going to spread some awareness and we're going to see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens. Yeah, I was talking to Levi this morning, and we were talking about the idea of a convoy being, like the snowball that you see in the cartoons, that they start off really small, and as you keep going, the more people jump in, it keeps snowballing and getting bigger and bigger. I mean, we don't know how big it's going to be. I mean, I think the convoy that we had earlier on this year, the very first one, I thought that was massive. I was absolutely chuffed about seeing that, yeah. And
it'd be tough to beat that again, mate.
Yeah. Everybody had a great time, too. Everybody had a super time.
Yeah, it was absolutely wonderful, yes. So, yes, well, that's what I was hoping, that everyone gets on board. We've got them going up north, on the side. They're coming over from Hawke's Bay, a few people to meet us in Whanganui. I know that they're coming up from Wellington to Levin. So, let's fill the gaps between Levin and Whanganui and get some people come and join us,
Absolutely. Sounds like a
carpool, come along, stand on the side of the road with signs, wherever, cheer us along the way. At the end of the day, we're doing this for the people of New Zealand,
Yeah. So under which umbrella are you flying in this particular event for the convoy?
Well, I could say many, because I would like to say that I appreciate everyone that's out there within all of the groups and their efforts for what they believe in and their, their agendas. Well, we won't say agenda, but, their beliefs and their structure to what they want for, their people in their different groups. But at the moment, I'm going under the NZ United. Since Parliament, they've formed quite a really good unity within the group from many different parts of our country, some who haven't even been to Parliament yet. I've met a lot of people that haven't even weren't down at Parliament, but because of us going to Parliament, they're here now, ready to take, come up and stand there with us,
That would include me, by the way.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Parliament. Yeah. I don't think I've ever been to the Parliament building. I've just been watching everything online.
Yeah. A lot of people have,
And I have a Facebook page here. Here we can see the New Zealand United page. Our voice, our people. How long has New Zealand United been going?
Oh, as far as I know, I've been in the group since it says here it was created on the 6th of March 2022, would you believe?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You've got You've got the Jacinda's taxi there. Love that one.
Yes, we sure do.
Love that one. I'm just scrolling down, taking a quick squiz at your page, your group, and
Well, not my group. It's I've only just come. I've just joined the crew, but yeah, Dan Jenkins and his team, and look, I could name a whole heap of them. Yeah.
Got it. No problem. All right, so here we are. So we've found all of these posters, and there's a new one, which I was not aware of, Cape Reinga, but you're dealing with Whanganui to New Plymouth.
To New Plymouth, yep.
So let's get that opened up for the viewers, and make that a bit wider. Boom, there we are. Okay, so start your engines, ready to roll. So you are leaving. What time are you going to leave?
10 a.m. we're leaving there.
10 a.m. from Whanganui, and you're heading out to New Plymouth.
And we're going to be meeting at Springvale Park there on State Highway 3 on London Street, actually, believe it or not, right across the road from the BP petrol station.
I'm assuming you won't be visiting them.
I'm going to be standing right outside.
Awesome. And this phone number here, 02764854147. So people who want to get involved in that can call that number, and they'll be helped out on information.
Yes, I've already had a couple of calls already, which has been great. They were like, "Is this for real? Is this for real?" And I'm saying, "Yes, this is for real."
Wow.
So there's some excitement already, I think,
Okay, and when you arrive in New Plymouth, what's going to be on the agenda there?
We're just going to do a bit of a boycott and a little bit of a slow convoy through town and see what we can get up to on our way through, I guess. To spread that awareness.
Do you have any particular speakers planned at the location, or are you guys just doing a rolling convoy around the city?
A rolling convoy around the city, yeah. As far as I know, we've got Voices for Freedom jacking up with me, and they've been messaging me, and we're trying to get some, we've got a lot of team here ready to meet us in New Plymouth, so that's going to be a great thing for us to arrive to.
Yeah, it's awesome to see everybody getting behind it.
Yeah, every town. It's great, actually. It's a kind of like a flash mob convoy, I reckon.
Well, I like the idea of flash mobs, absolutely. Yeah. I love the idea of flash mobs. And before you got into this convoy thing, had you ever considered protesting or anything like that before?
No way.
How did you get involved in this?
Well, I'm double vaxxed. I'm a medical mother. And, with the pressure of being a medical mother and having paediatricians saying you need to get your kids jabbed and do this and do that, I just went and got jabbed. But, why I got into this is my dad's Canadian, and I was listening to the convoys happening around Canada and them doing the truckies convoy there. To that, I listened to the Australian one through the Zelo channel. I was just needed something to do at home, I guess. I was a bit bored at the night time and come across that. Before you know it, we were down at Parliament and we were on a convoy of our own, Pretty epic, really. And here we are today talking to you. I've never protested a day in my life. I'm still not too keen on protesting. I don't think in some senses it's me, but hey, so far so good, eh?
Yeah, well, we were talking a little bit earlier on, not you, Levi and I, we're talking about, what is a convoy, what's the meaning of a convoy, and the convoy itself is not really a protest, to be honest. It's a group of people who meet up in one location and they all cruise off somewhere. So I call it a cruise, really. I call it a convoy cruise. You're just cruising around, and it's when you get to the destination, that's when the actual protest starts. And a lot of people have a lot of fun waving their flags on the side of the road and people getting involved, and and it's actually an event for people, something to do for the day.
Well, they're getting out. Absolutely, absolutely.
Especially after being locked down for, X amount of months, not being told to.
A lot of people are still locked down. We've just finished COVID in our house. All my two youngest children, a common cold, I may repeat. But, so being a medical mother, I have to, put the children first and do the right thing, and going through all the process of being in isolation and things like that. And I just felt, this is another reason I'm here today fighting this freedom family, the freedom train. is there's so many different rules. Like 1 week you can have this rule and the next week you can have the other. You ring the COVID line and they say you don't need to test your children anymore. They've already got COVID. They could have it for 3 months on the those rat tests,
Yes. Yeah, the rats.
But yet someone who's already had it 3 months ago doesn't need to isolate. They can come and go from the house however they please. But, I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's showing corruption very, very deep into our system, and it's coming out very quickly now that we've left Parliament. And that's another reason why I'm going to see, hey, look, this convoy of mine might come along and we might have 4 cars. You know what? 4 is better than none.
That's right.
And it only takes 1 to make a difference. Yep. To get some people following you and seeing that, hey, these are just people like myself, I mean, I'm no one special. I'm just a mum, who wants to see a place for her children to grow and be equal, have that chance to have their say and be heard,
Well, statistically, it takes a very small percentage of the population to actually overturn government policies, actually. It doesn't even require the entire country. I think it's very small, something exactly like 20 to 30%, or maybe even less, because those are the actually active people. Most of the other members of the population are observers and just go along with whatever the establishment says. So it's the people who actually get out there and take action and get involved in the process, the political process, whether that is jumping in a convoy or waving a flag around, or going across to the Shell station and holding a sign and awakening people to the problem and the issues of the day. They are the ones who actually make the changes in the country, and everyone else just kind of sits along and goes along for the ride.
Well, that's it. A lot of people probably think, they've got rid of the protesters all down at Parliament and they've all dispersed, and no, they've all gone now. We're all conspiring against the world. But actually, that was one thing we should have mentioned first up, was our Freedom family down at Mahanga Bay. They have had a big impact on them today down there, and again, another big little, rocket being thrown at us again. And I'd like to just say that, we're still all out there, and they're actually down there doing some really good things for our country. So, like, New Zealand, wake up. Wake up, see what we're seeing, I'm not even 40 yet, and in 6 months in this year, I was never interested in politics. I had no news, no nothing. I tell you what, now in 6 months, and since I've been at Parliament, I have learnt more about the corruption and why things are the way they are than I ever have even in school. So it's now time to change that ripple effect, wake the country up, and I'm starting with my children, my own tamariki. Yeah, they're the ones who are telling me how they like to see it. My 10-year-old is saying, Mum, there's no choice. We don't get freedom. You say one thing and the law tells us this. That's coming from someone who's been with me side by side down at Parliament for that 23 days and seeing how much change could be made if we all just show a little bit of love and peace, come together. We can do it. I mean, there's a lot of people I'm working with now within the freedom movement, and we're from so many different aspects and areas of life that it can happen. If we can do it just a small a number, so can the rest of New Zealand.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, they can.
And we're going to start with the convoy again.
I found, just observing from my observing point of view, that a lot of people showed a lot of love to each other, actually, down there on the ground. I mean, you have people in the background going, but that's okay for me. It's all right for me. The actual demonstration of cooperating and harmony and working together for a specific cause actually became very, very apparent. And I think it became very, very powerful when the government realized that they probably tried as much as they could to disrupt it, but everybody stood together, came together, worked as a team, worked as a crew, and they were really very, very effective as far as I'm concerned, from an outsider's perspective. I was very impressed.
Even from someone like myself who had You know, I've never been to a protest in my life, and a lot of the people in the Freedom Family down there, they've been going to protests for years and years and years fighting for this stuff, and then all of a sudden you do this one convoy, and boom, what does it do? Brings everyone together. You know, it shows that, you know, you can do that. You can do it. You know.
Absolutely, you can do it, and that's the problem with people, is that they think that they're one person, they're too small, they don't have enough energy or power to make a difference. But, you know, just getting up in the morning, sitting down, talking to someone like this, making a video, going out there, making a sign, standing on the street, even as one person, people watch, people are followers, they follow, you know, people follow.
Oh, they do. You know, you talk to them. I've been, you know, when I go down to the local town and go into town to get my, you know, local errands every week, there's always someone that I bump into that either touches me or I touch them, or you're awakening just a little bit by smiling because you're wearing no mask, or you're walking through and you're talking about, you know, freedom, or just anything really. But there are so many of them out there. They're just really scared to come past that little part past the government, and I guess, what is it, you know, be not controlled anymore, because they're scared. What's going to happen when they do step past that line and come to the side and are awakened? They want to know what's the plan, where to from there once they come to that side. You know, I hear you there. Yeah. I hear everybody there. They want a plan, they want a leader, they want someone to sort of pave the way for them. Well, do you know what? Yeah. The people of New Zealand need to stand up and pave the way for everybody. You want your children to have a better schooling? Stand up, make a video like So We Are Here, have an interview, and tell us. Get hold of me personally. PM me on my Facebook. Message me. Tell me your thoughts. I want to hear them. You know, I was at Parliament and I spoke to many of people, but a couple of elderly people come to me and they really touched my heart. They questioned me and said, you know what, we've come all this way and I'm questioning my own faith. And I said, gosh, oh my goodness, we didn't bring you here to question your own faith. I said, what I want you to do is don't question your own faith, because your faith is what got you here today with us at Parliament.
Faith, this is really important thing right now. You know, faith is really being questioned, and to question the government is not to question your faith. You know, this is a problem that people are grappling with, is that they believe that, oh no, if I go against the government, then I'm going against God. But, you know, a lot of these countries around the world, especially Western countries, they were built on constitutions that were directed towards God. And,
But again, God is someone else's higher power and someone else's faith.
That's right.
And they're entitled to have that faith as their own and not be judged. You know, like my faith's not God. I don't believe in anything to do with God. But do you know what? My faith within myself and my spirituality gives me the strength to accept other people's God, other people's higher power. And that's why I'm able to sit here and try my hardest as one person to push out unity within, just even if it's a small amount of, like you said, you know, touching someone out and about just at the shops. They then see you again when you're out again. And that's the chick that said this about, you know, that, you know. Yeah,
that's right. You know, you've got to be quite open these days. The only thing I draw the line at is Satanism.
If you're going to unite a country, you have to be, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, come on, what's going on in the government right now, I don't see any unity. I don't see any unity within the political parties or biblical parties. All I see is them all trying to fight for one step and one step only, and that's to go up there and be a leader and take power. Well, you know what? How about listening to the people of New Zealand?
That's right.
They want to take power. They want to stand here. And, you know, I listened to that, watched Guy Nunn's interview today, and I was very impressed with his description of the word government. I was I've kept that in the forefront, and I'm going to write it down because I wanted to talk about that, you know, with you. But it's just perfect, you know. No one needs to be in power here, you know. I have a lot of respect for the Destiny's Church as well. You know, I bonded with their faith and their mana, their heart, their soul, and what they actually were all there for the same reasons as myself.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I bonded with the spiritual side of. I just bonded with everybody, and once we come away from Parliament, I've seen those bonds form. And, you know, at the time we couldn't see it happening, but, you know, now I can see it slowly happening. But the thing is, we haven't got time to go slow and steady wins the race. We've got to figure out a plan, and we need to ask the people. And I will be, and I'll say that now, I will be, now that I've come here on an interview and we've started this ripple effect, I will be continuing this ripple effect with everybody who we're already involved with. And if I've got to come on daily to get people to wake up, I will do so. You know, I'm prepared to help New Zealand to come as one, and let's try and get everybody's, you know, I don't know, voices heard, you know, from every angle.
That's right, and I'm going to transition.
And then get it published.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to transition back into that cause there. So that's how you can stand up in your local region, because acting locally is the key. I think the idea that people sort of glamorize and fantasize about having that gigantic convoy again, it was a very special moment and probably won't happen again for a very, very long time. Yeah, but having these small, localized convoys to raise awareness in your own community, doing something in your own community, is the way to get started. Absolutely.
Well, that's right. And at the moment, we're focusing on what's happening up at Marsden Point, which has been going on since pretty much we left Parliament. You know, they've been up there for, nearly 80 days, I think, now. I think it's roughly about 80 days. And, of course, you know, once we lose that, New Zealand, you're not going to be worried about whether or not you can afford petrol. You will not be able to afford petrol, so you won't need to worry. You'll have to start walking. And, yes, I've had a lot of flack in the last 24 hours about how you're going to afford the petrol to do these convoys and expect people to do it. And I said, you know what? It's not about that. Yes. It's about just showing the awareness. And if you've got an issue with spending the money on the petrol, then you perhaps need to be on the other side of the fence, because we're not here to have issues. Like one lady rang me and said, who's funding this? And I said, you know what? I'm funding my trip. And I said, I'm a solo mother. I don't have very much money. And I said, I'm just winging it. Do you know why? Because I know it's the right thing to do, to stand up and start that ripple effect out there. Like I said, we might have 4 cars. Everyone's probably going to think, you know, the ones who aren't awake, oh, they're just fools. Well, you know what? It doesn't stop there, does it? We haven't stopped yet, and we're not stopping now. No. So...
And this is, you know, talking about money again, going back to that, the idea that people ask you, how was this funded? You know, I did get an email from, I can't remember if it was the Herald or Stuff or whatever, and one of the questions was, you know, who's funding this? And they wouldn't even accept my answer that it was the country was funding it.
Funding it, yeah.
You know, the people were funding it. There was no big conspiracy, there's no big Russian oligarch standing behind anybody, or there's no, it's not a conspiracy. I mean, everybody was donating, and they were pumping money in, and they were keeping the camp alive. So it was a national movement. I want to dispel this myth completely. There were people
coming every day. I was getting texts every day. Can you deliver? Where do we take the food? Where do we do this? You know.
That's right.
I mean, we had the Hardy Kushners. I mean, take our hats off to the Hardy Kushners. We had Papa Hone and the one whānau tent. Yeah. You know, look at that. We had, you know, I reckon if we hadn't got kicked out, we could still be there. We would still be there.
Probably, you know? Probably. If they hadn't...
The grass is actually too green for my liking. I'm not liking how green it is.
You had to get in there and muddy it up again.
And my 10-year-old daughter was just more concerned about, had the slide been fixed? Had it been fixed? Yeah. And I said, actually, it hadn't been really burnt because it was steel, so we were all right. But new paint job, maybe. New paint job, indeed.
Well, Nikki, I mean, it was fantastic to talk to you today, and I've got to admit, so far it's been the most enjoyable interview I've done. All the other interviews I've done so far have been rather serious and really...
Hey, come on, take the hats off. I've watched the other interviews, and, you know, it wasn't serious, but there've been good people on there too. They're all the same as myself, and they're all there for the same reasons, and that's why we're all talking to you see? Because we want the same thing, so...
Absolutely. And before we get out of here, let's go back and recap on what's happening. And it's not the 4th of July in the UK, it's the 4th of July in New Zealand. It's the 3rd of July. And
so it's the 3rd and the 4th of July is the big thing that we're doing throughout New Zealand, yes.
Right.
in regards to our oil prices and just showing some awareness around all angles of the freedom movement. But at the moment, it's about the Marsden oil refinery and our oil prices, and it all being taken offshore and not being here in our own country. So that's what we're doing on the 3rd of July and the 4th. We are just having a little bit of an awareness campaign and a little bit of a convoy.
Right,
So,
excellent, everybody. If you want to get in behind Convoy to raise awareness from Whanganui to New Plymouth, there's a contact number here, 0276485147. Is that your telephone number or a general group member that's managing it?
The general number's the 0800 number on there. That's just mine for the New Plymouth to Whanganui section. But you know what? If anyone wants to ring either number, it's not going to matter because we'll hook you up with the right team.
Awesome.
And maybe you'll be the team leader for your area, so ring it.
Yep. I've always wanted to do I've always wanted to do a convoy in Vietnam because, you know, they actually have a lot of those older trucks with the big long noses, and they're probably about 20 years old, these trucks, you know, and there's a whole bunch of trucks made in China here as well. Yeah. But the problem is that I do live currently, I've lived in many countries, but this one that I'm currently in is a communist country. And actually, at the moment, it's not as psycho as the rest of the world. It's actually really relaxing. I'm living in the country. There's a lot of farmland around where I am. I got my dogs. I can go to the supermarket. I don't have to wear a mask. Nobody asked me for a QR code. Not anymore. They were really kind of crazy about it in the beginning, but now they're just like totally chilled. Nobody really cares. They're not buying it anymore. They're still concerned about it. They're still a little bit concerned about it, but everyone's just getting on with it. So I think I'm living in probably one of the last free bastions, to be honest. I kind of have that feeling. So
you have that feeling. You have that feeling, eh?
Absolutely have that feeling. All right. So thank you very much, Nikki.
You're welcome.
Let's transition you over there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on State of the Nation. I am with Nikki, and she is organising the New Plymouth to Whanganui. Right? Yes?
Whanganui to New Plymouth, yeah.
Whanganui to New Plymouth convoy. Get in behind.
I'd like to go from Wellington, though, you know, right up the island.
Yeah. You'll have to drag Guy Nuns away from his presentation.
I tried tonight after I seen him. I wanted to bring him on. I was like, come on, keep coming up to Whanganui. We need that between Levin and Whanganui, guys. Come on. Anyone there between Levin and Whanganui, bring on Guy Nuns' team from there and meet us in Whanganui.
Yeah,
let's do this.
Yeah, he is a fantastic speaker.
If you can do that, we can make it all the way up to Marsden Point.
All the way. That'll be on the cards for the next time. Hopefully, maybe we'll see something like that happening. But for now, we're out of time, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see you again on State of the Nation. I'll be back tomorrow with the Energy Report with Daniel Rurik. Mr. Levi Wolf is busy tomorrow. So tomorrow it'll be me and Daniel Rurik, and he'll be updating us on the State of the Nation and the Energy Report. And we'll see you again. Goodbye.